Here we are, we're in Rod's garage. We've had this opportunity to listen and learn. I want to ask you a couple of questions, specifically about the idea of when you lose an order, right? We've all felt that feeling. What do you think the average sales rep does? How do they handle this? You've been around a lot of them.
Well, I am one of them, really.
Okay, but let's take you out of it because you're kind of the rock star here. So what do you think the situation is in a normal situation? What do they do?
I think that most times they do really nothing, right? What they do is they go complain to their compadres. You know, you can't help but bring a little of that frustration to your next phone call, your next meeting with the client, if you get one, right? You can't help but have just a microscopic amount of that sort of frustration and bitterness, right? That they didn't trust you, they didn't give it to you, whatever reason you didn't get the deal. What I did was I began to sort of try and think, how can I get myself more into the space of my buyer to sort of try and understand what's going on here? And I even brought my own emotions in there as a consumer when I would be buying something or I'd be dealing with somebody for a long time. And then something better, and maybe not even better, but different came along. And I had to give up on my long-term sort of vendor partner, not even give up on him, but try somebody else out. Then I didn't even want to take their call. I didn't want to see him. I didn't want to talk to him. I felt guilty, right? Because I've been working with this person for a long time. And now I'm not giving them a piece of business that I knew that they thought they deserved or they really wanted, and I couldn't do it. So I began to sort of try and put myself in the position of my buyer and say, how can I, the order's gone, right? How can I graciously accept that and not be angry or be disappointed or be pissed off or something, right? I want to make sure, right, that I let my client off the hook. So I came up with this idea that I would write to them a brief note, right? And it became more and more over time. But in order for it to be real and heartfelt and cut through the noise that they're getting, 300-400 emails a day, phones ringing off the hook, I wanted it to be handwritten, hand addressed, and put a stamp on it. And I even went further. I'm going to put unusual stamps on it. I don't want it to look like, junk mail or business mail or anything. So I glommed onto the idea of using really, artisanal stamps, whether it's Elvis or whatever. And today I write still 3 or 4 pieces of correspondence every day, even though I'm retired, to friends, family, even my wife. And I use, personal stationery and a stamp on it. I've invested for years in nice stationery, with my name on it and everything, and good return address. And so I have a son in the Special Forces military, so now I use a Medal of Honor stamp on my letters, right? And my writing sucks, right? And I mean, I was never a great student. That's probably why I sold promotional products for a career, because nobody's going to hire me to be an engineer. And so I created this idea, and I handwrite a letter on the inside. Sometimes I have to cross out a word, or I spelled it wrong, or my grammar, or I left something out, or whatever. And I mean, it's not great. I'll probably get a D in my handwriting class in school if I'm lucky, right? So this comes in the mail, gets delivered to the office, and it's different. And the open rate is so much higher than an email. The average response rate, direct mail gets, 4% average response rate. Emails get a 0.12 response rate, right? So you're 37 times more likely to have somebody respond to your letter than you are to an email. 37 times. The open rate on personal hand addressed mail is like 80% or 85% versus an unsolicited email is probably in the single digits. And I have citations on this, give you the exact numbers you can download at any time or email me a request for those citations. But think of your own particular thing. You get 200, 300, 400 emails a day. Your spam filters cut out a bunch of them. You dump a whole bunch of them without even opening them. If I want to ignore you right now, I just pass it up or delete it or come back to it later, and then I never come back to it. But the hand-addressed letter, and it should hold, 4 or 5 sentences of thoughtful handwritten, preferably in blue ink. So, sort of a side note to that handwriter is that then I've developed a rubber stamp that I put on the back. I mean, this is like totally retro, but here's this rubber stamp, and the rubber stamp says, "I write by hand to share a piece of my heart." It said, "While my handwriting and spelling may waver with each stroke, though flawed, it carries my genuine thoughts and warm regards." Now, you can write anything you want, but this allows me to make an excuse for my shitty handwriting and spelling, right? As I'm telling them, right? I know it's crap, but it's real and it's from the heart. Don't just go buy one card, buy a stamp, do this. Invest in some stationery, $200-300. Get some nice stationery now. Buy good stamps. Go to the post office, go online, find stamps that have some meaning to you, that you think are colorful, interesting, whatever it is. National Parks, Medal of Honor, I don't care. But not the normal, regular mail stamp, okay? Think about your own version of my rubber stamp, right? That I use to allow me to sort of handwrite no matter what it looks like. Have that stationery at hand. Have those stamps on hand. Be ready to rumble. Make sure you've got a USPS address for a client. And it doesn't have to only be used for a lost order. It can be used very powerfully for thank you for a great order or thank you for something else. You lose the huge impact if you're doing it every week, right? But it's 1 or 2 times a year, maybe, that a client gets a note from you. Thanks so much for the order, whatever it might be. You're creating a sales call without being there. So I think it's an incredibly important tool to use. Jay's laughing at me now.
I'm laughing because he's trying to be quiet.
I know, he's just squeaking, he's squeaking out the door.
It's okay. It's not a bar. We can just close the door, right? When he comes back.
But it's okay.
Yeah.
We'll tell Barbara.
Okay.
Yeah, but I know, it's like,
Okay, I was just going to ask him to close the door, and then Jeff said, that's like a little bit
duck,
walking
man.
behind me.
like a duck, man. Yeah, no. He doesn't even know. He didn't even realize he did it.
You got the loudest shoes in the world.
Jeff, you're walking right through the shot going squeak, 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 squeak. So I'm writing them a thank you letter, in essence. It says, thanks for considering me for this important job. And although I didn't get it, and I was bitterly disappointed that I didn't get it, you gave me the opportunity. You put me in the game, right? And I was close. And I'm just going to go practice. I'm going to get better. Like the next time I'm going to have better creative, I'm going to have quicker delivery, I'm going to have lower price. I mean, whatever it is, I'm going to be better, and I have to thank you so much for that opportunity. You feel better because you got something sort of off your chest in a non-negative way, in a really positive way, okay? And your recipient gets something that lets them off the hook, right? So there's a reciprocal benefit. Both of you are benefiting from this.
I love that. And I love that so much because no one teaches you what to do when you lose the order. Like, you're the first person. I've been doing this not quite as long as you, but until I had listened to this, I'd never heard of this. I'd never heard of there's a tactic, there's a strategy, there are things to do when you lose the order. So to me, it was very eye-opening.
To me, if I have an engagement, and I've been doing business with someone, did any business with them, right? I want to nurture that relationship for the lifetime value of that relationship, right? And so that occasional order that I don't get, or that piece of business that I lose, I want to understand, why did I lose that? How did I lose that? What could I have done differently? Because I don't want to lose the client. I don't want to lose that lifetime value of that relationship. Tip, and that's part of Roadside Attractions, is we want to be, we're kind of coming to the end of this in some ways, but it's really, if you take nothing else away from this, hear me on the value of a personal piece of correspondence with a stamp on it, hand addressed, written to clients. Learn to use this tool. Go try it out, right? And see if it doesn't, it's not going to manifest itself in a lot more business right away, but it will make you feel better, your client feel better, create connections. You'll stand out, you'll be different.